Hello guys, what's up? Welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a video on my top 5 current favorite foundations. These are all from the drugstore, and these are foundations that I'm actually reaching for instead of my, more luxurious or expensive foundations, because I genuinely feel like these foundations, the formulation, the way they finish on the skin, the way they look, and just even down to the packaging, I think they have the same quality as more expensive foundations, and they just feel a little bit more elevated than a lot of other things. And I just have been enjoying the way they all look, and I think you guys are really gonna like them too. I think there's definitely a finish and a formula in here for everyone. I'm gonna show these on my skin as well. So I did one side with foundation and then the other side I left bare. I personally feel like that's a little bit easier of a way to gauge the finish and the coverage, because instead of seeing all my skin with foundation, you get to compare the foundation to my bare skin, and it just shows you what the foundation looks like in comparison to skin that has, no product on it. So that's just how I personally like to gauge coverage, finish, and just the way it looks. I'm gonna get started off with my favorite foundation that I tried in 2019, and it's in my top 3 favorites of all time. It's the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Foundation. Now, the remarkable thing about this one is that it genuinely looks like skin. Obviously, it has the ability to give you that fresh flawlessness, but the way this formula just molds to your skin and, hides imperfections and evens out your skin tone, gives you a little bit more of a brightened complexion and just the right amount of dewiness to where your skin looks plump and youthful, but not greasy or oily, is truly phenomenal. And honestly, the flawless coverage, you would think that you would look cakey or made up, cartoonish, or just that it would look like too much, but it looks like skin. It's just, that's all I can say. The coverage is incredible. It looks like skin. It doesn't look cakey. It feels quite moisturizing. The formula is easy to work with. I think a beginner or an expert would have an easy time applying this. And it just looks like genuinely real healthy skin. So love it, love the coverage, love the longevity. It's amazing. My next favorite foundation is the L'Oreal Age Perfect Serum Foundation, and this one is quickly becoming one of my favorite foundations of all time. I'm not even kidding you, like the first time I used it, I was taken back at how good it made my skin look, and I've played around with it a little bit more as well. I like how it has customizable coverage, so it looks good if you wear it, just sheared out and more natural, or you can completely build it up into full flawlessness to the point where I don't even have to wear under eye concealer when I'm wearing this, because I can just put a couple extra layers under my eyes, and I feel like it still gives me that really beamed up, bright, even looking skin. Now, there is SPF 50 built into this formula as well, which is really nice, because if you pair that with whatever sunscreen you're wearing on your face, you just get an added boost of sun protection. And the effect of the foundation is really what I love. Okay, so the formulation of this is also really exciting because it does apply like a serum. So it goes on really nice and fluid, and then once it starts setting down, it just stays put. It's like you don't even need to use a primer with this, and it makes your skin look like you just got a really great facial treatment. So it's, molding in with your skin and just makes your skin look so good and nice, and it feels really good too. That's the thing I love about this one. You don't feel like you have a ton of makeup on, even if you're wearing it full coverage. It just feels lightweight, but gives you really great coverage, makes your skin look so nice, and looks natural. So yeah, loving that. Next up is a tinted moisturizer. This is the Neutrogena Radiant Tint Moisturizer. This is gonna be really great for anybody who wants like barely there coverage, and more so just kind of wants something that looks like a filter on the skin. So this one has a built-in illuminator. So if that's something that you really like, you like the look of a light strobe, then I think you'll really like this. And coverage-wise, I would definitely compare it to the Hydro Boost. So it's barely there, but can be built up to something that's a little bit more coverage, but it's never gonna be like a solid you know, foundation effect on the skin. The radiance of the illuminator is really soft, so it's not glittery and it doesn't make you look tinnish. It does set down as well. I personally feel like you don't necessarily need to use a powder with this, because once you've spread it in, you will see that it sets down. And I think something else you guys will see in the demo is I actually used a decent amount of product for half of my face, and it shears out into barely there coverage. So there's not a ton of coverage in this, so it's great for every day or somebody who really just wants the most natural appearance as possible, but still wants a little bit of illuminator. Other thing I really quickly wanted to mention about this one is it can be used in a multitude of different ways. So you can wear it on its own as a tinted moisturizer, but you can also use it as a base step, as an illuminator to use underneath your foundation, or you can mix it in with your foundation, or you could also use this as a way to kind of cut down on a foundation that's got a lot of extra coverage. If you want to help sheer it out and maybe make it a little bit less full coverage and more natural looking for day to day, you could use that as this as well. You could use this for that as well. Okay, next up is Revlon Candid foundation. This is another one of my personal favorites, but I really like this one, especially during this time of year. Even though this foundation sets down to a really matte finish on my skin, what I like about it is it's pretty easily manipulated to where if I use a dewy primer or a dewy setting spray, I can ease up on that, and it's just gonna feel a little bit more natural on my skin type because I do have a drier skin type. But I like that it's not a matte foundation that, you know, breaks down and starts crumbling when it gets oily. It's a foundation that will kind of flex, and the formula will change a little bit depending on your skin type. So it's not a matte foundation that you should be afraid of, you know, breaking down, crumbling, flaking throughout the day once it comes in contact with your skin's oils. It's a matte foundation that does kind of you know, evolve throughout the stages of what your skin is going through, or depending on the types of products that you pair it with. And coverage wise, I would say it's gonna be medium to medium full. Okay, last up we have the Almay Comfort Matte Foundation, and again, I have talked about this many times on my channel, but I genuinely love it so much. It's a very, like, comfort matte is the perfect name for it essentially, because it is a very comfortable matte foundation, and I would say that this is more of a natural matte finish. So you do get like a soft powder finish on the skin, but it still has a little bit of radiance to it. So your skin will still reflect back a little bit of light, and it'll almost just look like skin with a little bit of powder on top. Coverage wise, it's also like truly a medium coverage foundation, which I personally love because it's not, you know, not enough coverage or too much coverage, which I think too much coverage is arguably the worst because nobody wants to look cakey or too much makeup because no one wants to look like they have too much makeup on. So it's perfect, it's easy to use, really nice fluid formulation that will just spread over your skin beautifully, and you can use a brush or a sponge. I tend to prefer a sponge with this one, but it's so long wearing as well. It really will last you from morning until night with minimal touch-ups. The only time I really find I have to touch this up is if I'm wearing it on a day that could potentially be a little bit hotter. I will notice some of the products breaking down wherever I get a little bit oily, and then all I'll do is just take a sponge with a little bit of product and kind of press it into those areas. So because of that, this one is actually really touch-up friendly, and I just love how this one is just a natural skin-like looking matte. Just that soft, beautiful powder finish that's gonna be really appealing to most people who want something that's not gonna be too glowy or too matte. It's truly right in the middle, coverage-wise and finish-wise, to where I think this is gonna please most people in terms of just the way it makes your skin look. I guess that's everything. That's all. Those are all the 5 foundations I really wanted to speak about. I really hope you guys found this video helpful. If you do have any questions regarding any of these foundations, please feel free to hit me up in the comments down below. I'm also going to link and list them in the description box for you guys. Please subscribe if you didn't earlier, and I would also love it if you guys would come follow me on Instagram as well, and let me know if there are any other best of videos that you want to see. I'm really liking filming these because it's a good way to give you guys reference points for products that I think are like, or products that are like current favorites, but not a month, you know what I mean? Like stuff that I really like that's not in a monthly favorites, but just the best of right now. So yeah, let me know if there's any other things specifically that you want to see. So I hope this was helpful, and I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching this one. Bye guys.